everybody, Fan of Stratons 44 here, welcoming you all to the penultimate of this little mini-series thing we're doing this month. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the LNER number 4472, the Flying Scotsman, in all his glory. Flying Scotsman was a model that I don't think a whole lot of people expected to get in the range, and I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect him either, but he is a welcome addition. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing him, giving him a run, and comparing him to his brother, where they might just have a little race. Who knows? So, I'm not going to bore everybody. Let's get into it. Okay, everybody, here we are at the bench, ready to dissect Flying... Go away. Okay, back to what I was saying. Here we are at the bench, ready to open up Flying Scotsman and review him. I'm going to be totally honest, Flying Scotsman is a character that I did not expect to get any new merch, like, ever again, to be honest. But yeah, when him and Duck were announced for the line, it was quite a surprise to a lot of people. Now, I have a theory as to why these two, Duck and Scotsman, were brought into the line. At the start of 2025, Japan held a character poll where fans from around the world could vote for their favourite character throughout the history of the franchise. When the midterm results came out, Scotsman and Duck were like number 2 and 3, I think. So that may have been what influenced Mattel to release Scotsman and Duck. It's funny, though, to think that if the midterm results had been different, we could have literally gotten anyone. Like, we could have possibly gotten a new Smudger model for the Motorised line. You know, that's funny. Smudger did rank quite highly, which was quite surprising. Now, I'd suggest going and reading the character poll results. Some of the thingos that are said on the engines are quite funny. So, the results are funny, that's what I mean. So, let's open up Scotsman. Like before, we will be gently opening him. Okay, that's one side done. See, where's this other side? Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Free the Scotsman. Free the Scotsman. Free the Scotsman! I freed the Scotsman. So yeah, by the looks of it, he has the same annoying packaging as James. So, I'm going to have to be careful how I cut this box open. Can I even? 1 second. I'm going to... Okay, there we go. No. Scotsman water tender. Scotsman coal tender. Scotsman. So yeah, here we have Flying Scotsman in all of his Scottish glory. Scotland forever. Yeah, so I am going to quickly take a look at him. So yeah, I'll set him down for the minute, assemble him, and then we will have a look at him. So here we have the Flying Scotsman in all his glory. I don't really have anything to compare him to. I never had the original 2016 Motorised Scotsman, nor did I get him when he re-released, partly because I didn't collect Trackmaster at the time of his initial release, and he never came to Australia when he was re-released. So yeah, and All Engines Go never made Scotsman, so I don't have an All Engines Go Scotsman to compare. So yeah, the model is very nicely detailed. Surprisingly, the tenders are actually different molds from the original ones I've heard. However, I don't have those tenders to compare them to. Something else I'd like to point out is the lining. As you can see on the tenders, they're lined more closely to the ones in the television series rather than the CGI ones. The green on Scotsman is very nice. I know that it's coming out looking a bit like aquatic on film, but it is a very accurate green, let me tell you. He's got wonderful printing and looks quite accurate to how he does in the show. He's got his smoke deflectors, they're not movable, unfortunately. He does have valve gear also, very nice to see that the valve gear will hopefully become a regular thing. He's got his back trailing wheels, lots of lovely detail. I'm running out of things to say. Let's compare him to Gordon, shall we? I've got Gordon right over here. Here we have Gordon. So, comparing the two side by side, I want to say they're both like pretty much exactly the same size. I know Gordon looks bigger, but I'm comparing it from like buffer to back coupling. It does look like Scotsman might be just that little bit longer, I don't know. But yeah, I want to say that they reuse some tooling from each other. For example, the cab on both models, the entire bottom running plate. That doesn't matter though, I still do love him. He's a lovely Scotsman model. He's got a black running board. This extends to his first wheel arch, and then we never see or hear from it again after that. Yeah, he's got a very accurate face. I do love it. A great face for Scotsman. And yeah, let's quickly open up his chassis and take a look at what he looks like inside. And here we have Scotsman under the hood. As you can see, his chassis is pretty much exactly the same as every other chassis we've reviewed so far. It does not have a back coupling hook to couple things too. This is because the coupling is on the body. That's the case for all tender engines. Something that I've neglected to mention is the side rods. They're very different from the regular ones we've seen in the past. They've got like 3 little spigots, or 2 really. This side rod does look a whole lot better than the original one. On most models, on engines like Percy, however, it just doesn't really look right. But yeah, let's quickly, I'll show you Scotsman running, see? Very nice. And now we'll look at Scotsman under the hood. So, as can be seen, he's got very nice underneath. The face, by the looks of it, is able to be removed like all the other engines, and his valve gear and cylinders are also able to be removed, as are his back trailing wheels. So yeah, that is Flying Scotsman. I suppose before we take him to the track and give him some running, we should look at the tenders. I've neglected to look at those. So again, I know the green looks really aquatic almost, but trust me when I say it's a lot more of a nicer green in person. And the green just doesn't look the same on camera. But yeah, very nice tender. They've got the coal detailing and the corridor. Again, it does have the truck's chassis, but that is just standard by now. Is there any special printing? 2024, okay, so it looks like they were planning this stuff last year. Very interesting. And here we have Scotsman's water tender. Interesting thing to note, I believe this is back the front. I mean, I want to say this should be the other way, so the actual bit where the water goes in is on this end. However, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense for it to be like this, so that when the Scotsman's being filled up in this tender, they only have to move him forward a little bit to fill him up on this tender. So yeah, that would make sense, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'm gonna have a look. Interesting thing to note is that the water tender does not have a corridor on the front. It's very interesting. Here we have the indent, that is the back corridor. And yeah, again, 2024 written on the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly couple up the tenders. So yeah, those are Scotsman's tenders. Now then, I reckon we should reassemble Scotsman, take him to the track, see how he runs, and who knows, maybe there'll be a little surprise left in store. Okay, here we are once more on the test track. We've got Flying Scotsman set up, looking all fine and dandy with James and Gordon in the background. Again, I promise you, the green is more accurate in person. Something I want to point out, unlike James and Gordon, Scotsman does not have a removable coal load, and I'm not sure why. I mean, the coal could, in theory, fit into the tender, but I have no idea why they didn't do it. Maybe it's because he's got two tenders, maybe it's because they modified the previous mold, maybe it's because these might be reused from the original motorized engines, the talking ones. I have no idea. So yeah, let's give Scotsman a run, shall we? Enough about that. And he's off. Takes those corners well as he makes his way along there, up the hill, through the tunnel, makes his way out the other side, slowly making his way along. My camera is literally focusing on anything other than Scotsman. Makes his way down, gets caught on those points, over the wibbly wobbly bit, and he comes for a stop right there on the stop track. So yeah, now we'll test how he does slopes. We'll move Gordon and James to the side, put Scotsman on this track, and we'll start him off. Off he goes, past the windmill, up the slope again, over the bridge, down, around, and back through the station. So yeah, he's a very nice model, I will say that. However, part of me is curious, now that we've got those tests out the way, who's faster, do you reckon? Gordon or Scotsman? Well, I don't know about you, but maybe, just maybe, we should set something up and send these two on a little race. What do you think? Yeah, that sounds good. We'll give him a race and then I'll give you my final thoughts on him. So let's get into it. And here we are, the Tidmouth 3000, a simple raceway track that I made in literally an hour, tops. So yeah, right now we will race Gordon and Flying Scotsman to see who is the fastest and the best. Racers will start here at the station and make their way along the line. They will split. Gordon will pass the windmill and Scotsman the docks. Then under the tunnel and around the first bend, before coming to two bridges. After that, two racers will race down and make another curve, before coming under the bridges, rounding more bends, an even sharper bend, before coming back here. It's the first engine to beat 3 laps. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Go! And they're off. Gordon takes an early lead. He's ahead of the Scotsman as they make their way around the first bend. As they begin to climb the steep slope, Gordon maintains a lead, with Scotsman chasing close behind. As they make their way down, Scotsman seems to overtake Gordon. 2 pass now under the big bridge. Scotsman still keeping firm on that lead. Gordon proceeds to try and catch up as the 2 race neck and neck down the straight. Scotsman is still in lead, but only just. Will need to work hard to keep this lead. Gordon overtakes Scotsman as the 2 make their way around the first bend. After this, they make their way back up the hill and over the bridge. Scotsman races down now, overtaking Gordon once more. It shows that he doesn't need his water tender to be fast. As the 2 make their way under the bridge, Gordon tries desperately to catch up to Scotsman, to no avail. two make their way into the final lap. The final lap that will determine the winner. Gordon tries to catch up and is now in the lead once more. But can he maintain this hold? Can he? I hear you asking. Maybe, maybe not. The two make their way down. If Gordon's gonna win, he really needs to put in that extra effort right now at this final lap. And as they go, Gordon makes his way, and the winner is Gordon, only just by literally a hair. Okay, so yeah, there's your results. That's the race. You can stop racing now. Maybe the true winner were the friends we made along the way. So overall, what are my final thoughts on Scotsman as a model? He's a very nice model and he's got a lot of detail. I do love the valve gear on him like Gordon, and I do love the painted running board like Gordon and James. If I could change some things about the model, I suppose I'd paint the area between the splashes black, as I said with the previous two, and maybe size up the tenders a little bit to make them more in scale with Scotsman, because I mean, they just look a little dinky being carried behind Scotsman. Aside from that, nothing you haven't heard before. Paint his whistle or his red switch yellow. I suppose it would be nice to give him a coal load. You know, paint his tender buffers red. But overall, other than that, he's a pretty nice model. And I do wonder if we'll see more from him in the range. I mean, probably not, but you know, oh well. So yeah, despite not being as fast as his brother in that race, he's still a nice model, and I am very happy to finally have some form of motorized Scotsman in my collection. So, with all that yapping out of the way, I think I should close off this video with a little bit of running footage. So yeah, let's do that. I can literally not see Duncan. I like kicked him down here and I have no idea where he is. He's just gone. Duncan's gone. I need a new Duncan. I lost Duncan. Okay, bye.